Welcome back. We are starting on page 32. This is chapter 5. There is an oral review on page 31, so please do it on your own at home. We're going to start with new vocabulary on page 32. The first word is Av. Now, in proper Hebrew, the word for father is Av. The word Abba is not proper Hebrew, it's more Aramaic. Most words that finish with Aleph are Aramaic words, not Hebrew words, like the same as Ima. The word Ima, Aleph Mem Aleph, is not a Hebrew word because in Hebrew you say Em, just like Av. In Aramaic you say Abba and Ima. So Av can either mean your direct father or forefather, ancestor. It can also refer to a concept that is the source of other concepts. The earlier source of other concepts is called Av. El is a direction to. That's with a segol, as opposed to the word El with a tzere means God. Even though the letters are the same, Aleph Lamed, but meaning is different. El, to or towards. Isha means a general woman or, in particular, a wife. Behema, an animal in general, or in particular, it refers to domesticated animal like cattle. Bat means daughter. He is a she or feminine noun that in English we say it, but in Hebrew we say she, he. Halach, this is a verb, past tense, masculine. Walked, he walked or he went. In English we have two different words. Walked, just walked with no direction. Went usually implies that he went towards a destination or away from somewhere. So in Hebrew the same word halach is used. Next, the name of the city, Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. And notice that the final yud is missing. That's how it is spelled in Tanakh, without the final yud, because this comes from the two names that this city became called after. Originally, the name of this city was Shalem, and that's why the end of this word is Shalayim without a yud, which could be read as Shalem. And
it says Shalom, like you know anything?
Yeah, but there is the dot under Mem.
It has no connection with Shulam Shel Yaakov and
Sulam.
You don't talk about like the ladder and
Sulam.
No,
because it says that originally the name of that city was Shalem. Melech Shalem, the king of the city Shalem, and we say that was the Shem, who was the high priest of that city. And then later when Abraham did Kedah, he offered his son on the altar, he called the name of that city Yera'eh. Behar Hashem Yera'eh. That this is the city, this is the place where you can witness God, where you can see God.
So where the Akedah was where the Bet Mikdash was?
Yes, Akedah was where Bet Mikdash was. So the name of the city became combination of original name Shalem and now the name seeing God, Yeru Shalem. So it became Yerushalayim. So that yud was not put there on purpose to show you that the name of the city comes from two events. Yerushalayim, we still pronounce it as if yud is there. Yerushalayim. Another direction, min means from, el means to, min means from. Mitzrayim is Egypt, and all names of places are feminine.
Oh, in Hebrew?
In Hebrew, names of cities, names of countries are feminine. That's why Mitzrayim, even though it adds with Yud Mem, Mitzrayim, but it's feminine word. It's a feminine word. Mishpacha is family. Na'ara, young woman. Ruth is a name of a feminine name, a girl's name, Ruth. And Sarah is also a girl's name. Okay, as you noticed, after a word we use M to imply masculine and F for feminine nouns.
So every time there's an A at the end of the word, it can be assumed that it's feminine?
Usually if the word finishes with hey and with a vowel A with a hey, it's usually, there are exceptions, but usually it's a feminine word. Also, a word that finishes with a taf usually is feminine. So here we have this, like bat ends with taf, root ends with taf, and other words like isha, behema, na'ara, mishpacha, sarah end with a with a hey, and these are feminine.
Also, a quick question. Isha is woman and a wife, but ish is just a man, based on last week's vocabulary?
Ish can mean a man or a husband.
It can mean a husband.
Yeah. Leah refers to Yaakov as Ishi, my man. Or we say Ish Naomi, the husband of Naomi. So Ish means a husband also. When there is an unexplained dagesh in a vocabulary word, as in Isha, the shin, it was with the dagesh, considered part of the spelling. So to properly spell the word, you have to put the dagesh in there. And we will be using the biblical spelling of Yerushalayim without a yud, rather than the current spelling of Yerushalayim with a yud. Both words are pronounced the same. But again, in Tanakh you're going to see it without a yud. Don't be surprised, be ready for it. And in modern Hebrew works, like newspapers and books, you're going to see with a yud.
Sometimes we see it's Talmud. It's spelled Yerushalmi Talmud, or is it's really Yerushalami Talmud?
No, that's for a different reason. Because in order to make it Yerushalmi, sometimes letters are dropped out. So that's not
so
because
it's not referred to. Okay.
It refers to Yerushalayim, but just the fact that the yud is not there is not because originally it's not there, just because the conjugation causes it to lose the yud. Now, the gender of nouns, masculine and feminine. In English, only a few nouns are specifically masculine or feminine. For example, a man is masculine, a woman is feminine, a waiter is masculine, and waitress is feminine. Most nouns in Hebrew are neutral. They don't have a gender. In Hebrew, all nouns are either masculine or feminine, even though the things they describe may have no male or female qualities on the surface. When I say what's masculine or what's feminine about this object, sometimes we can see, sometimes we can't see.
Okay.
The noun davar, word, is masculine and follows the rules for masculine nouns. Davar, an example of masculine rule is devarim, right? You don't say devarot, you say devarim, which follows masculine. For example, if you want to say one word, you're going to say davar ehad. Ehad is a masculine number. In Hebrew, even numbers have masculine or feminine. You would not say davar ahat. You would say davar echad. As opposed to the noun mishpacha, family, is a feminine noun, and follows the rules of feminine nouns. For example, you say mishpachot, not mishpachim, mishpachot. And if you want to say one family, you will say mishpacha achat, not echad. Again, feminine. There is nothing male or, well, on the surface, there is nothing male or female about either a word or a family. But every Hebrew noun is either masculine or feminine, and you must remember which gender it is. So one thing you have to, in addition to remembering the meaning of the word, you also have to remember if it's masculine or feminine. Sometimes you can figure it out, sometimes there are exceptions. Okay, next, feminine singular nouns. Nouns ending with a kamatz with a hey, with a hey, are usually feminine, like na'ara or mishpacha. Nouns ending with the letter taf are usually feminine, like bat or emet, truth. Names of cities or countries are nearly always feminine, like Mitzrayim and Yerushalayim, even though both of them end with yud and mem, but they're nevertheless feminine. Masculine singular nouns. There are no characteristic endings for the masculine singular noun. If a singular noun does not have a feminine ending, a common feminine ending with kamatz hey or taf, it is probably masculine singular. But as opposed to feminine nouns that are usually hey or taf, masculine nouns can have many different endings. However, there are some exceptions. The only certain way to determine the gender of a noun is to look it up in a Hebrew dictionary. If you don't know, sometimes there is no way to figure it out. You have to look it up in the dictionary. In dictionaries, in addition to telling you the translation, they will tell you if it's masculine or feminine, with the letter F or M, or in Hebrew they would use nun. Nun stands for nekeva, female, or zayin. Zayin stands for zachar, masculine. In chapter 4, we learned all the masculine nouns. All the nouns that we learned in chapter 4 were masculine. In chapter 5, we have a mix. Like Av is masculine and others are feminine. Gender of verbs. In Hebrew, not only nouns, but verbs also have to be either masculine or feminine, and they have to correspond to the noun. So in the last chapter, all the verbs were used in their masculine singular form because we attached them to masculine nouns. And they all had the same pattern of vowels because we looked at verbs of the same family. The pattern for the masculine singular verb form in a perfect tense. Perfect tense means past tense. Perfect means it happened already, it has been perfected. The pattern is as follows. First there is a kamatz, and then there is a patach. For example, Shama, we are on page 33. Shama, he heard. Kamatz and patach. Shamar, he guarded. Again, same pattern. Kamatz and patach. Zachar, he remembered. Amad, he stood. Halach, he went. And malach, he ruled. Now, for feminine singular verbs, hey is added to the 3 letters of the root. So feminine verb will have 4 letters. And also there is a different pattern of vowels. Past tense, perfect tense of feminine verbs is as follows. Sham'a. So even though it still starts with a kamatz, but because of the extra letter, other vowels are changed. There is a shva, and then kamatz again. Sham'a. Sham'a. She heard. Whereas he heard would be shama. For feminine we add sham'a. Both of them end with a, but one is shama, simple. Shama is masculine. Sham'a is feminine. Shamra, she guarded. Zachra, Zachar, Zachra, she remembered. Amda, she stood. Halcha, she went. Malcha, she ruled. Page 34. In Hebrew, the subject and the verb in a sentence must have the same gender. If the subject is masculine, the verb form must be masculine. If the subject is feminine, the verb form must be feminine. Otherwise, even though people will understand what you're saying, but it's going to be improper speech. Hu amad, he stood. He, however, she amada. David shamar, David guarded. Sarah shamra, Sarah guarded. Roots. In the Hebrew language is built on a system of roots. A Hebrew root is a set of letters, usually 3, which express a general idea. Vowel patterns and additional letters are added to a root to give it a specific meaning. Many words with similar meanings are created from each root. So if you know the pattern and you know the root, the meaning of the root, you can make many words. You can make past tense, present tense, future tense. You can make all the pronouns I, she, he, they, we. Yes, very similar to Russian. So just knowing the root and the rules of how to conjugate it, you'll be able to create many more words. So let's look at an example. Malach. Usually the root is in a verb form. For the past tense, he. He did something. What did he do? Malach. He ruled. So the 3 letters Mem, Lamed, Chaf represent the root. And just simple reading of these letters will give you past tense of he. He ruled. Shamar. He guarded. Now with the word malach, you can create other words like melech, same letters, just different vowels will make a king. Malchut will create kingdom. Which means you're adding...
You're going to have to change a lot of... You have the taf in there, and you're going to have to change that into a chaf.
You add letters, but the root stays the same. Right? The root, which tells you the basic meaning of the word, stays the same. You can add letters before, after, in the middle, change vowels, but the root is the same. Shamar, he guarded. Shomer, a guard, or mishmar, prison. Amad, he stood. Amud is pillar. Omed, standing place. Zachar, he remembered. Zecher, remembrance, memory, or zikaron, memorial.
So that's why a lot of times when they interpret Chumash, they say that certain words come from the roots of another words. So this is it.
Yes. Sometimes a word that is unfamiliar to us, we can figure out its meaning by looking deeply into the root, and we can understand what it means, even without the dictionary. Verb roots. There is an especially important relationship between Hebrew roots and Hebrew verbs. Every verb in Hebrew has a root, generally composed of 3 letters. The following verbs we already know. Shama, he heard, and the root is Shin Mem Ayin. Halach, he walked, and again the root is Hey Lamed Chaf. Shamar, Shin Mem Reish. Zachar, he remembered, Zayin Chaf Reish. Amad, Ayin Mem Dalet, and Malach, Mem Lamed Chaf. The 3 consonants in each of these verbs are the root letters for that verb. From now on, each new verb will be introduced in its root form, with dots between the consonants and without vowels. We use the dots to show you that this is not a word yet, it's the root.
So basically the roots are present tense.
Past tense.
But here, like over here, shama, here, isn't that present?
Shama. No, it's the root for the word here, but that doesn't mean here. The word means heard. He heard.
All the verbs are the past tense.
All the verbs tell you he did something.
Right.
That's the simplest form. He did something. Shamar, halach, shama. Singular perfect patterns. Singular past tense verbs. For the root of shin mem ayin, shama, he heard, sham'a, she heard. Shamar, shamra, malach, malcha, halach, halcha, zachar, zachra, amad, amda. Again, everything I read, review on your own. Now we learn a new word in Hebrew. The word and. In English, it's a separate word, and, with 3 letters. In Hebrew, it's only 1 letter. It's not a separate word, and it's attached to the word. For example, av means a father, ve'av means and a father. Now, it's significant that the word vav in Hebrew, the name for the letter vav, the word vav means a connection, a hook. And that is exactly the function of the letter. The function of the letter is to connect what was before with what's coming next. For example, you would say, ani ve'av, I and a father. So you're connecting the word I with the word father, and you put a connector in between, a vav. And even the shape of the letter is a hook that links one word to another. Hamelech, the king, ve'hamelech, and the king. Now, if you know Uzbek language, or maybe Turkish, how do they say and? They say va. So, other languages took from Hebrew. Instead of ve, they say va.
Yeah, Uzbek they say what?
Va, yeah. In English, we say with. A similar idea. We said that some people pronounce vav as w, with. Okay, the word and, vav, ordinarily takes the shva vowel. Usually it's with a shva, but sometimes it's with a patach. David and Avraham and Ruth, you would say David ve Avraham ve Ruth. David amad ve hu halach. David stood and he walked. Hana'ar ve hana'ara. A young man, the young man, and the young woman. The vav and is sometimes written u, and it's pronounced as u, right? Not vu, and that's another proof that I use for the proper pronunciation of vav as w, which could more easily be converted from w to u than from v to u. It could also appear as va, ve, va, vi. These variations do not change the meaning of vav, which is and. For example, bat, u, ben. A son and a daughter. U, ben, u, bat.
So
Ben, u, bat.
when would you know when to use u when you say va?
Yeah.
Again, Hebrew language is not made by people, it's made by Hashem. So Hashem, in designing a human being, He designed the language that should be perfectly compatible with our tongue and mouth and teeth and throat. And so whatever way is the easiest way to pronounce a word, that's usually the correct way. I remember reading once that English is one of the worst languages for your face muscles, and they say that's why people in England and in America, they have wrinkles the first out of the whole world, because in order to speak English, especially probably British English, you have to maneuver the muscles of your face in a way that is very difficult.
So interesting.
But Hebrew is not like that. Hebrew, the words are easy to pronounce. And the word changes according to the function of your mouth. For example, it's hard to say vavat because it's two v, so you say uvat. Yeah?
Yeah.
Or in the case of vat, also hard to say, so you say uvat. Bait uvhema, so you see where there is a vet as a first letter, it's u. David Virushalayim. Since the word begins with Yerushalayim, we change the vowel of a vav to V instead of V. Yerushalayim. Virushalayim. Davar ve'emet. A word and a truth. Ve'emet. So the vowel of vav depends on what follows after it to make it easier to pronounce. Uvat, uvhema, virushalayim, ve'emet. Again, because it would be hard to say emet. Ve'emet. Okay. In the above examples, notice that the pronunciation of words containing the beget kefet letters vet, chaf, and fe may change. The change in pronunciation does not change the meaning of the word. Now the word from in Hebrew, the word min, which means from, has two forms. It can appear as fully spelled and as a separate word, min. It can also be attached to a word as a single letter mem. For example, min habayit, from the house, or you can say mi bayit. And then you notice that min habayit is from the house. Mi bayit is from a house. You would not say min bayit. Could you say min bayit?
Min habayit.
Right. You usually use the full word with a specific word, with the house. Min habayit. Similarly, min ha'ish, from the man. Me'ish, from a man. Min hamelech, from the king. Mehamelech, from. Oh, here we also say hamelech. You could say mimelech, like we say by Friday night. Mimelech malchei hamelachim. Mehamelech. The use of it in Hebrew. Hebrew doesn't have a separate word it, but rather it uses either she or he, like in Russian. The house stood, habayit amad, and it guarded the family. Vehu shamar mishpacha. So instead of it, we say who. So from here you learn that the word house in Hebrew, bayit, is feminine or masculine?
Feminine. Masculine, bayit.
If it's tough, usually it's feminine. But from the pronoun who, we learn if it's masculine or feminine. And what is it?
Feminine.
Pronoun who means
He.
he. Right. So we know that house is masculine. That's one trick to see what pronoun it's used with, and you know if it's masculine or feminine.
But we learned that if the subject is feminine, then
Yes, but here the subject is
family.
is No, the subject is the house. The house guarded the family. Who guarded? The house guarded.
So it's feminine. The house is feminine.
No, from the pronoun who, we see that the subject is masculine.
Wait. Why? How do we see that it's masculine?
Because who means he.
Yeah, but we can say instead of using who, we should use feminine because
Yes.
the house is feminine.
Yes, but since we don't use he, it must be the house is not feminine.
Oh, so Habayit then is not feminine.
Habayit is masculine.
That's what I said.
That's why we say batim. The plural for houses
So
is batim.
This is when it's an exception then.
This is an exception.
Where
It ends with a taf, but it's a masculine word.
Okay.
Now, hamishpacha zachra, the family remembered. Vehi halcha el Yerushalayim, and it went to Yerushalayim. Right? In Hebrew it means and she went, because family is feminine. But we in English say it.
Wow.
Complex.
Complex?
Yeah.
If you know Russian, it's not so difficult.
Russian is a very difficult language if you learn from
But
scratch.
Baruch Hashem, we are familiar with it, so it shouldn't be so hard.
Man. Woman. No, not young.
Now, let's do exercises on page 36. Exercise 1. Read and translate each of the following.
How many copies so people don't have to switch right?
Thank you. We have copies of the vocabulary.
No, you're gonna go. Okay. You're gonna do it without me.
You have one, right?
Instead of me.
No, that's
Okay.
checked in. No, it's
Oh,
4
it's
and
two.
5.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 4 and 5, so you can view
It's
it.
4 and 5.
What'd you do?
Read and translate each of the
Okay.
following words and state whether they are masculine or feminine.
Here we go.
Okay, let's go.
What is this?
Yeah, let's go 3 words as they appear. Let's start with Bechor. 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Ben, son, but
Oh, and say whether it's masculine or feminine.
oh, Ben, son, that's masculine, but daughter, that's feminine. Ish, that's woman or wife, that's feminine.
Ish,
I mean, I'm sorry, Ish is man or husband,
Ish
that's
is man.
masculine.
masculine. Good. Yaakov. 4.
Okay. Isha, it's feminine, means wife. Avraham, it's masculine, means Avraham. Na'ar means young man, and
Good.
it's masculine.
Good. Avraham.
Na'ara means a young woman, female. Melech means king, male. Mishpacha,
Mishpacha.
most likely female.
And what does it mean?
Family.
Family. Feminine. Good. Yaakov.
Av is father, masculine. Be'ama is an animal, and it's with a hay, so it's feminine.
Feminine. Good.
And Yerushalayim, I guess it's masculine because it doesn't have a. It's unisex.
We say that names of
A name of a place.
cities
It's always
It's always
is
feminine.
feminine.
Yeah.
So Yerushalayim is feminine.
Yeah.
And you know he's not.
No, no.
No
What?
skipping for you today,
No,
you have to
you
do
guys-
it.
I have to catch up. You guys go.
Okay.
I'm just listening.
Bechor.
Not
Da-
too difficult for me.
Davar is masculine.
Davar is masculine. What does it mean?
It means a word or a thing.
A word or a thing. Good.
Bait is house. It's masculine since it's
Good.
an exception.
Good.
And then Mitzrayim is Egypt, which is feminine because it's a place or a city.
Yes, it's feminine because it's the name of a place. Now read and translate the following verb forms and write them in their root form. So for words that already have 3 letters, you don't have to change anything. And words that have 4 letters, you have to take away 1 and rewrite it as in 3 letters. So let's do one verb each. One. Let's start with Yaakov. 1.
Okay, so how? So you would take out the hay.
First, read and translate.
Halach, and it means it means walked.
Yeah, he went.
He went, and
And halcha.
you would take out the
Read it and translate.
second
Yeah.
No.
Chalcha.
halcha. That means
She went.
because they added the hey at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna learn the form of past tense verbs, and you'll remember. Yeah.
Isn't it also the same way you spell halacha, like the rule, the law?
Yes, there it's a noun. Halacha means.
But it's the
The
same
laws.
spelling, right? As
Same
halacha.
spelling, but the vowels are different.
Oh, the vowel is
Halacha.
oh, the vowel is different.
Yeah. Halcha, she went. So the root is
Hal.
Hey Lamed Chal. Good. Abraham.
Shamar,
Second.
second. Amad, Amda, stood, she stood.
He stood, she stood, and the root
Amad.
Ayin Mem Dalet. Good. Yaakov.
Shamal, masculine to like take care of
Guard. we
to
say,
guard.
yeah. He guarded.
He guarded. Shamal.
Shamra.
Shamra is she guarded.
She guarded. Good. And the root is
Shamal.
Shamar. Good. Yeah. Bechor. Four.
Shema, he listened.
Yes.
Shema, she listened.
She listened.
And the root is she, man, ein.
Good.
Shema.
Good. Do the rest on your own. Now, halakha, exercise 3. Read the following sentences aloud and translate. So even though these are 2-word sentences, but they are nevertheless full sentences. Let's start with Yaakov.
David Zachar. David remembered.
Yes, David remembered. Good. Abraham.
Amad, Abraham, Abraham stood.
Abraham stood. As you notice, you can switch the verb and the noun. You can make noun first or the verb first. David Zachar, you can say Zachar David, Amad Abraham, Abraham Amad means the same thing. Okay,
It is only when we have 2 words in a sentence.
even if you have more words in a sentence,
Yeah.
you can switch the verb and the noun. Yaakov 3,
Sarah Amda. The woman Sarah stood.
Sarah stood, good. And Bechor 4,
Ab, Shamar, father guarded.
good. And do the rest on your own. Exercise 4. Circle the correct form of the verb in each sentence and then read and translate. So basically you have to choose the proper verb. Yaakov, number 1.
David, it would be the first one. Shama, because this is a masculine.
Good. Abraham,
Rud, Sham'a,
translate.
Rud, heard.
Good. Yaakov,
Haben Zachar.
translate.
The son remembered.
Good. And Bechor,
But Shamar,
Shamra,
but is the daughter.
daughter.
Shamra guarded.
Yes.
Daughter guarded.
A daughter guarded.
And
Right?
daughter guarded.
Yes, very good. And rest from 5 to 8 do on your own. Read the following sentences aloud and translate. Now here we have more complicated sentences. Yaakov 1.
Okay, so Hana'ara halcha vehi amda. The young woman halcha.
Walk.
The young woman walked.
Good.
It the young woman walked and amda. What does amda mean? Stood.
And who stood?
The young vehi amda. She stood.
And she stood. He means she. Right. The young woman walked and she stood. Avraham 2.
Hamelech, Malach, Vehu, Zachar. The king ruled and he remembered.
Good. Yaakov 3.
Mm-hmm. Shamra Sarah Vehi Amda. Sarah guarded And she stood there.
And she stood. Good. And Bechor, do number 5.
Amad David v'hu malach. David stood and he ruled.
Yes. And now do number 5 also. Bonus.
Are you laughing?
He said the number 5.
Oh, you said do number 5?
Yeah, do it also.
I'm sorry, I was just concentrating on 4.
Hamishpacha.
המשפחה מלכה וכי זכרה בן. The family,
It's the name of the family, Malcha.
ruled, and it remembered its son,
A son.
and
Yeah. The family ruled and it remembered a son. Now, we'll go to exercise.
One thing, the
6.
Malcha wasn't the name of the Mishpacha Malcha. It's not the name of the family. It's
No, here it's a verb. Malcha, she ruled. She was.
Oh, I get it. She ruled.
Yeah. Now, from now on, each chapter will have a substitution exercise. This exercise contains a series of sentences with underlined words. Each sentence is followed by a list of words to be substituted for the underlined word. Every time a word is replaced, the rest of the sentence may need to be changed to agree with the new word. Which means you have to now change from masculine to feminine, replace verbs. Pay careful attention to the use of masculine and feminine words, verb forms, and pronouns. The first sentence is done for you. As a writing exercise, rewrite the sentences below, replacing the underlined word with each word in a list that follows. Read the sentences aloud and then translate. For example, Hana'ar amad, the young man stood. If we have to now, instead of Hanar, replace it with Ha'isha, you would say Ha'isha amda, the woman stood. Hamelech stays the same since Hamelech is masculine. Hamelech amad. Habayit amad.
so we can replace it with any subject. No.
Yes. So sometimes the word stays the same even after the replacement, if the replacement word is the same as the original word, or it may need change. So, for example, let's start with Bechor, number 2.
David Shema El Hanara. David heard to, right?
Yeah, in
To.
English we say David listened to.
Oh, David listened to
Hana'ara means
a woman.
young woman. David listened to young woman.
To the young woman.
Yes, to the young woman. Now, if you replace the word David with Sarah and read the sentence correctly.
Sarah Shmea
Shama'a.
Sham'a El Hanara.
Sarah
Sham'a El Hanara.
What does Shama'a mean?
Listen.
Yes, Sarah listened to the young woman. Now, practice the rest on your own. Now let's go to Yaakov, number 3.
Abraham, Zachar, he remembered.
Yes.
Davar, word, mean, what does it mean? From the king, Hamelech.
Yes. Abraham Zachar Davar min Amelech. Abraham remembered a thing from a word from the king. Now replace the word Abraham with he.
He, what does he mean? She. So you would say, he, Zachare,
Zachra.
Zachra. Davar. Means Melech.
Yes. She remembered a word from the king. Now Abraham do number 4, 2, 4b. 4bet.
עמדה שרה.
First read it.
Oh, עמד מלך. The king stood והוא מלך, and he ruled, והוא שמע אל המשפחה, and he heard the family.
And he listened to the family.
Now Sarah.
Yes, now replace the king with Sarah.
עמדה שרה, והיא מלכה, והיא שמעה אל המשפחה.
Good. So again, the translation is the same. Sarah stood and she ruled and she listened to the family. And Yaakov, number 5, Aleph.
שמע האיש, שמע האיש בהמה והוא הלך אל מצרים. שמע האיש. The guy, he's like...
The man guarded.
Yeah, שמע האיש, the animal, והוא הלך אל מצרים. And then he went to מצרים. So then if I shamar Sarah,
Shamra, Sarah.
you can put the what?
You have to replace Shamar with Shamra.
Okay, okay, I got it. So shamra Sarah be'ema vehi halcha el Mitzrayim.
Good. Sarah guarded an animal and she went to Egypt. Okay, and finish review doing exercises for the rest of the words and the rest of the sentences. Now on page 38 we have a more difficult exercise where they give you a sample Hebrew sentence and then they give you variations of that sentence in English and you have to replace it with Hebrew sentences. Read and translate each Hebrew sentence. Translate the English sentences below using the Hebrew sentence above as a guide. So let's start with Bechor. 1.
Ha'ish Shamar,
Yes.
the man guarded.
Now read the whole Hebrew sentence and then do A.
Oh, and then choose which one it is?
No.
Okay,
And then translate each one of the English sentences using the
Okay.
Hebrew as a guide.
okay. Ha'ish is the man, Shamar is guarded, Melech king.
Ha'ish Shamar Melech. The man guarded
Oh,
a king.
I'm sorry, I have to translate the whole sentence. Okay. Ha'ish Shamar Melech, v'cha'isha Shemra bechema. So the man guarded the king, and the woman, a king, and the woman guarded the animal.
An animal.
An animal.
Yes, now translate A.
The man guarded. Ha'ish Shamar. The man guarded a king. Ha'ish Shamar Melech. The woman guarded the king. Ha'isha Shamra Melech. The woman guarded the animal.
Not Melech. Oh, you're right.
The woman guarded an animal. Ha'isha Shamra Behema. The man guarded an animal and the woman guarded the king. Ha'ish Shamar Behema Va'isha Shamra Melech.
Good.
The man guarded a word and the woman guarded a word. Ha'ish Shamar Davar V'Ha'isha Shamra Davar.
Good. Yaakov 2.
Malach HaMelech Miroshalim
Yerushalayim.
Vehu Shama El David, the king ruled from Jerusalem, and the king
And he
heard and heard and
he listened to David.
David. Okay.
If instead of the word El, to, we say Et David, who Shama Et David, then we say heard. He heard David. When we say El, then we translate in English, he listened to.
Listen to David. Okay.
Okay, now do ABC.
Okay, the king will Malach HaMelech, the king from Jerusalem will Malach HaMelech miYerushalayim, and the king would Malach HaMelech Vehu listen Shema.
Shama. Good. Now Abraham do DEF.
האיש שמע את המילה,
We use the word Davar.
דבר,
Ha'ish Shama
את הדבר,
Davar.
דבר.
A word. Yeah. E.
האיש שמע לדוד,
Yes. Ha'ish Shama le David. El David. Good. F.
האיש מירושלים שמע
אל
המלך,
Good. Ha'ish miYerushalayim Shama el Hamelech.
גם לה, is also,
Huh?
לה.
Yeah, we just didn't learn that yet. And Yaakov 3.
המשפחה,
Ruth.
אוקיי, רות זכרה נער ממצרים והיא הלכה אל ירושלים. So now I have to translate the sentence.
Yes.
So Ruth remembered now the young
Young man.
from Egypt. And she went to Jerusalem.
Good. Now do ABC.
I have to say it in Hebrew.
In
Hebrew. In English, Ruth remembered a young man.
Now say it in Hebrew, yeah.
Ruth זכרה נער
Good.
צעיר.
Just now. Now already means young man.
Okay, a young man from Egypt remembered a young woman. נער ממצרים זכר אישה נערה.
Yes. Good.
Ruth walked to Egypt. Ruth הלכה למצרים.
Good. And now let's give one more chance to Bechor D.
She remembered a young woman from Egypt. He
Yes.
Halcha
Remembered. Halcha means walked.
Zachra.
Zachra. Good. He Zachra.
He Zachra Nara Mimitzrayim.
Good. He Zachra Nara Mitzrayim. And Yaakov E.
Second. Nara.
A young man.
Nar.
Nar. Good.
Nar Zachar. Nara.
Yes.
Yerushalayim.
Mi Yerushalayim.
Mirushalayim. Right. When you add the mem, you don't pronounce you. Just say Mirushalayim. Without you.
Oh, sorry.
Without ye. Mirushalayim.
Mi
Without ye. Mirushalayim.
Yerushalayim.
Mirushalayim.
And how do you say that? Vehu.
Good. Vehu.
Vehu went. He went. How do you say went?
Halach.
Halach Mitzrayim.
Le or El Mitzrayim. Vehu halach El Mitzrayim. Good. And in exercise 8, read and translate the following sentences. Avraham, Aleph.
Translate?
Just translate. Read and translate.
האב שמע בן ובת והוא שמע דבר מירושלים. The father guarded the son and the daughter, and he listened to the words from Egypt.
And, and he heard a
And he
word
heard the words from
Yerushalayim. Good. And Yaakov? 2.
רות עמדה והיא זכרה איש ואישה ממצרים והיא שמעה אל הנער והיא הלכה אל הנער. רות עמדה, Ruth stood והיא זכרה, and she remembered איש, a man and a woman ואישה ממצרים, from Egypt, והיא, and she שמעה, heard, El Hanar.
She listened to.
Oh, she listened. Oh, I'm sorry. She listened to the young man.
Good.
Vehi, and she. Vehi alcha. She went. El Hanar, towards the man, young man.
Young man. Good. So finish from 3 to 6 on your own. If you have questions, you can call, and next time, Bezat Hashem, we'll start chapter 6.